Well, you finally did it. You finally decided to pull the trigger and adopt yourself a non-avian dinosaur. Well, you probably have a lot of questions. How the heck do I care for this thing? What kind of medications does it need to take? What do I even feed this thing? Well, lucky for you, you have a guide. That guide being How to Keep Dinosaurs. I lost the sleeve for this book, so this is what it looks like. This is what the cover looks like. So because my last dinosaur book video on if dinosaurs were still alive today did so well, I figured I'd go ahead and dig out another one of my old childhood dinosaur books and talk about it again, simply because it was really fun to do the last one, to, you know, kind of return to what I had as a child and just kind of revisit it and see how much things have changed, both with me and with our understanding of dinosaurs as a whole. This week's book, we will be taking a look at How to Keep Dinosaurs, which is another fun little book, which also has the ideas on if non-avian dinosaurs were still alive today, and kind of applies them in a pet setting, or with some of these in this little thing, if you had them in a zoo or a safari park or something along those lines, the different kinds of animals that you can take care of and how to take care of them. Essentially, it's just a fun little thing. It also offers, you know, it's a nice little way to offer a little bit of information about these animals, kind of like, again, in a fun way. This book was released in 2003, and the author was Robert Mash. So now that we have all of that said, let's go ahead and get right into it. First things first, now there's a set amount of dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals in this, but as you're flipping through this book and you're getting through the beginning parts of it, you notice that there's a few dinosaurs that are pictured in this that don't actually show up in this, like this Spinosaurus with a scarf. What if I adopted a Spinosaurus and I wanted to learn more of how to take care of this thing? It's not actually in the book, there's no details about it. It's truly unfortunate. Or this one right here, there's a Pachyrhinosaurus. Now, both Pachyrhinosaurus and Spinosaurus are some of my all-time favorite dinosaurs. Like, I got Pachyrhinosaurus up here right now, and an outdated Spinosaurus right here. There's also a few other Spinosaurus figurines. But yeah, no, Pachyrhinosaurus shows up in the table of contents at the very beginning. All we see is that it eats cabbage. That's all I have to go off of. That Pachyrhinosaurus is a vegetarian. Of course, that's not really like a criticism of the book or anything. It's just, I think that it's funny that those two show up right there, but not in the rest of the book. I would very much like to have those two as a pet, you know? But okay, let's get into this. So now at the beginning, there's a why keep dinosaurs little portion, as well as like dinosaur icons, because with each dinosaur, there's actually a little bit, like they give you kind of little bit of like easy to digest information, like, take, for example, this little symbol means that it's an herbivore, this one's a carnivore, as well as a little bit more of complicated things like it's a nocturnal dinosaur. This one likes children, this one does not like children, or this one does not like pets. You know, you get the idea. Each dinosaur has icons like that so that you can get a little bit of an idea of what you're dealing with when you adopt your dinosaur. This first section that they have is dinosaurs for beginners. You know, these, if you're trying to get into, you know, the whole dinosaur adopting gig, these are definitely the ones that you want to look into first. These are the easiest. Like, these ones require the least like resources and care and things like that. They're probably the most friendly. Like our first one being Compsognathus, you know, the very famous Compies. Like, they have a little bit of, you know, information about them. Like, this one's interesting. It says that they are good with children. I don't know if you've seen The Lost World, but I wouldn't be too sure about that. But they're also iffy with babies, but they can be kept inside. You know, they're easy to clean. A great first pet if you are looking to get into the dinosaur collecting game. Also, it looks like they can use a litter box. Little fun fact. The next section is dinosaurs as house pets. So, you know, kind of the ones like you've already dipped your toes and you're looking to get things that are a little bit more challenging per se, maybe require a little bit more resources, you know, just something that is kind of just different from the easy Compsognathus, like the Pachycephalosaurid Stegoceras. Its little description right here is, for the person who would like a friendly and inoffensive pet, pretty and easily fed, Stegoceras is ideal as long as its feet are not allowed to stay wet. Along with that, according to the image, it looks like you could be able to take it, you know, golfing and things like that, and it can help you out, or sometimes not. The next section is dinosaurs as flying pets. Now, of course, it says dinosaurs as flying pets, and it might describe this in the little section, but the majority of the ones that are featured in this next little part are pterosaurs, which are not dinosaurs themselves, but the first one is Archaeopteryx, which, of course, is a dinosaur. Archaeopteryx, the first bird, easily kept fed, and bred. There is an Archaeopteryx for every occasion. Choose a species to suit your home and pocket. Generally speaking, it looks like it looks like it'd be pretty easy. It doesn't necessarily like children, but it doesn't necessarily dislike children. This is probably the kind of pet that you want to get if you are just by yourself and you just want to have a cool dinosaur that is, completely feathered. Oh, and this is an occasion where we see feathers. Of course, Archaeopteryx would have to be feathered in this because we do have direct fossil evidence of Archaeopteryx having feathers. So, really cool to see its little inclusion. But of course, as I said, the rest of them are pretty much all just pterosaurs. Once again, they're not dinosaurs, but a Neurognathus makes another appearance. Once again, it has more of its elongated snout rather than the kind of bat-like appearance that we're so accustomed to today. It's kind of terrifying to see, but it looks like it's not good in the cold. You can play with it though, and it's kind of a picky eater, which is unfortunate. Of course, it eats mainly insects, so a cool little bit of accuracy right there, because that is incredibly likely for a Neurognathid in general. One of the best looking of the pterosaurs, a Neurognathus is ideal for the pond owner who wants something more original than ornamental waterfowl. Okay, for the pond, okay. Right on. Next up are the dinosaurs for recreation and the circus. This is an interesting little section. It starts off with something that I always really loved to see when I was a kid. Ornithomimus being pretty much used like horses are today. Again, with Ornithomimus, it's interesting to see it naked, essentially. We see ornithomimids being feathered so much today because it's something that is pretty much a given for those dinosaurs. So to see it, basically like a plucked chicken, as well as the hands facing the incorrect way, is just very, very interesting. But let's see what they have to say about it. An appealing first dinosaur for the child anxious for her first ride. Dang, voice crack. Oof. Easy to break in, tractable, and undemanding to feed. Conveniently housed in your paddock. Unfortunately, I do not have a paddock, so I cannot adopt an Ornithomimus. But rest assured, once I have a paddock, I will. I got you. There's also Gallimimus, which is juggling, breaking its wrists, because it would not be able to turn them that way. Again, it's portrayed being naked, no feathers. Very weird to see that for an Ornithomimid. But I do like the little kind of like waddle that they gave it. Very cool. It seems to like children's, but it doesn't really like babies too much. So can't really pick a lane. Next, we have dinosaurs for security work, such as the very famous Velociraptor. Now, they actually did give it feathers. For the most part, like it doesn't have wings or anything like that. In fact, it's actually a kind of like a little bit of a render for Velociraptor that I remember seeing in a lot of different just dinosaur books when I was younger. Like I remember seeing this so much when I was younger. But what do they have to say? Like, how is this a good pet? A splendid, loyal, fierce friend for the country sportsman who wants real sport, or for the police force that needs to get its man. They want to, they're pulling a Jurassic World. They want to weaponize the raptors. But what do you mean, who wants real sport? Are you talking about how you want to hunt it or use it with hunting? Better be the latter. Oh, but right next to it, I want to talk about this real quick. Ornitholestes, which is one that we saw in Walking with Dinosaurs, but in that it was portrayed with a crest on its snout. This is a little fun fact that I always like to regurgitate out there. The reason why it was given a crest in Walking with Dinosaurs is because when the specimen of Ornitholestes was found, the skull, it was actually broken at the tip of the nose. It was assumed that that was just the beginning part of a crest, and so most reconstructions portrayed it like that. Of course, that was not the case, and it was simply just damaged at the nose. So Ornitholestes did not have a crest, and this portrays it as such. Very fun. It also has some feathers, mostly quill-like, much like in Walking with Dinosaurs, but still, step in the correct direction. Oh, and of course, Deinonychus. Now, this one is the inspiration for the Jurassic Park Velociraptors, so I'm interested to see what they have to say about that. Also, they could play poker, much like dogs can, For the careful and socially responsible owner, an entire flock is most fulfilling. For a government seeking an unconventional weapon, this species could be the answer. Once again, they predicted. Jurassic World, man. Weaponize the raptors. This one's a little bit sad. Dinosaurs for eggs and meat. You know, basically domestication, using them how we use like modern day livestock. That's fun. Love to see it with dinosaurs. Like Plateosaurus. No. Ideal for the part-time or career farmer who is looking for an opportunity to diversify. Great satisfaction is to be gained from getting them to mate successfully. I hope that you don't want to eat it because Plateosaurus is awesome. I will mention this because I actually failed to mention this in the last video because Plateosaurus showed up in that. In that, it was portrayed as being completely quadruped, probably opting for bipedalism every once in a while. Of course, we now know that Plateosaurus was an obligate biped, meaning it always stood on its hind legs rather than, you know, switching back and forth how it was portrayed. In this, they portray it as being just that, a bipedal animal, which is very cool. Very, very cool. Although its wrists are indeed breaking. Oh no, Protoceratops. Actually, and its design is really not too bad here. It has basically the correct tail shape and everything. But let's see what they have to say. An easily fed dinosaur that lays large numbers of eggs, conveniently paddocked in scrub in summer and housed indoors in winter. Quite easily bred. So, of course, it's most likely that you would use Protoceratops for its eggs. Very fun. Parasaurolophus. Ooh, man, you gotta love Parasaurolophus. How do they want to use it, though? Ideal for farmers living on otherwise uninhabited islands. That's interesting, on islands, okay. Easily fed and cared for, a wonderful source of eggs, meat, and company for the hard of hearing. Using it for meat. This is the direction we live in, or the world we live in. But it looks like it won a prize. That's fun. Now, dinosaurs for hide and feathers. Again, probably more dinosaurs that are simply just farmed. But we do start off with Therizinosaurus with feathering, but it is breaking its wrists. And it's, you know, not a terrible design, all things considered. That's actually kind of fun. It looks like it's being used as sort of like a herding dog, which I wouldn't have guessed, but here we are. A multi-purpose agricultural dinosaur, popular for its many virtues in and around the farm, although safety measures are advised. I mean, you're telling me those are some very impressive claws. I don't really have much to say about Ankylosaur other than the fact that they kind of gave it like a nose ring, much like how you would a bull. And now this section, this is the final section, the dinosaurs for zoos and safari parks. Now we'll start off with the very famous Triceratops. To the zoo with wide open spaces big enough for a herd, Triceratops will bring all the atmosphere of the Wyoming Upper Cretaceous. Very, very interesting design. Definitely the elephant-like feet. You know, use it for your zoo if you have enough property for it, you know. Ooh, and then Postosuchus. Now, Postosuchus is, of course, not a dinosaur. It was, you know, it lived during the late Triassic period and was to a family that I can't recall, so I'll have the text right here, but, you know, they were basically the top dogs of the late Triassic, whereas while the dinosaurs were, you know, off with different niches. Here it's portrayed as being quadrupedal, much like how it was in Walking with Dinosaurs. As we now know, Postosuchus was, once again, much like Plateosaurus, an obligate biped, which means, once again, it stood on its hind legs, because it has similar front limbs to that of theropod dinosaurs, which means that it would rely on its back limbs more than it would its front. Let's see its little description. Not a suitable dinosaur. Ooh. Not a dinosaur, but not a suitable dinosaur for the amateur, unpredictable, active, predatory, and cannibalistic. Do not be tempted by the chicks. This is not a creature that you want to own, I'm telling you. And we'll end things off with the very famous Tyrannosaurus. This is not really a dinosaur that I would want to own, even in a zoo. It just seems like there would be a lot of work, a lot that would go into taking care of an animal like that. And judging by these little boxes right here, it looks like it'd be very difficult to own, you know? The ultimate animal for the zoo with dwindling attendances. Okay, so if numbers are down, then get a T-Rex. Got it. Okay. Literally awful and almost certainly needing a special insurance policy. By far the least suitable dinosaur to keep. That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. But I want to point this picture out right here. So it's like, of course, it's probably a zoo, and everybody's they're excited to see Tyrannosaurus Rex. But there's little descriptors right here of the image going on. It says, right, a picture taken mere seconds before tragedy struck. And that's all you need to know about the Tyrant Lizard King. And the rest of the book pretty much just details like certain types of medicines, ailments, and cures that you can give your dinosaurs if they get sick, as well as kind of some classification, you know, a little bit of education when it comes to these dinosaurs. All in all, a very fun book, and one that I absolutely loved when I was a child. Of course, I had a lot of dinosaur books that I loved, but I liked, of course, pretending that this was real, and I'm really learning how to, you know, take care of any non-avian dinosaurs. All in all, I really do have a lot of fun checking out these old books. I think it's fun to see a lot of our mindsets at the time when it came to dinosaurs, like the way that I felt about dinosaurs at the time. Of course, I didn't get this book when it came out, being 2003. I was only 3 years old, but later on, you know, of course, I'm sure that I pointed out that there were a lot of things incorrect, but for the most part, a lot of it did seem sound. But, you know, a lot of our understandings does shift as time goes on, and it's just really cool to look back at these old books and just really see that. Of course, I didn't get to every single dinosaur or prehistoric animal in this book. There is plenty more to look at, a lot of enjoyment to be had with a book like this. Once again, if you want to check out the book for yourself, I do have the Amazon link if you want to snatch that up real quick. I do recommend it. It's extremely fun. Of course, take a lot of the information that you gain from it with a grain of salt. A lot of it could just simply be wrong for the time, so always wrong, or simply just be outdated information. So take that for a grain of salt, but as far as good entertainment goes, then absolutely, you know, I think you'd have fun with this book. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have for this video. This might be longer than my typical videos, but thank you guys so much for watching, and have an awesome day.